Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Woo! Good, awesome. Thank you, thank you. My name is Elena, and it's such an honor to be here in Tiipsala on Riga Tech Girls. The stage, we call it Smart Stage, and I'm really happy to be here and to be your stage moderator today. If we look at today's program, which you can very quickly find on your phones, we can see that we have a few very inspiring presentations today. We have some discussions, and at the end of the day, we will have a program Spring Up pitch session. So I really encourage all of you to stay here today for the whole day, because it's just gonna be getting more interesting and more interesting. So, as the first speaker on the stage, I would like to welcome Anna Andersson, Chief Empowerment Officer from Riga Tech Girls.
Thank you, Elena. All right, good to see you, so many of you for the opening already. And I'm also happy to see that our audience is not completely monochrome. It's not just women here. So let's give a warm welcome also to the men who are attending this Women in Tech conference. Woo! Because we all need to work together, and diverse teams is what we are about. Not just female empowerment, but that's also important. So yeah, my name is Anna. I am CEO of Riga Tech Girls, and Riga Tech Girls is all about diversity and inclusion. And this stage, actually, we just realized that this year it's kind of an anniversary. So it's the 5th time that we have this Women in Tech conference in RIGA COMM. So thanks to RIGA COMM for supporting this initiative as well. A little bit about what Riga Tech Girls are. I think most of you probably know since you came to the stage, but just to kind of refresh for everyone. So we are an inclusive community, and we work on empowering women and girls, but not just women and girls, the society in general, using technology. And we want to change our perceptions and the stereotypes about the tech industry and about the development of the job market in general for a better future for everyone. So that is kind of our mission and goals that we're working for. And why do we do this? Because even though we are in the 21st century and technology is the booming industry, we only have 23% women of all the workforce are women in the tech industry. And if we look at startups, the numbers are even lower. So it's in most of the world, actually, female founders represent less than 10% of all startup founders globally. So this is what we're trying to change. And what Riga Tech Girls has been working on are 3 main directions. So number one is for women to start their careers in tech. So we have several programs there. And the first one, Discover Tech, I'm pretty sure quite many of you in the audience are connected to Discover Tech. So how many have been in the Discover Tech program? Put your hands up. Okay, awesome. Great to see you. Then we have a mentorship program supporting women to change their careers, which will start in January. And She Goes Tech and Work in Tech training of professional coders and data analysts and so on. We also have a vertical where we work with startups, female startups, and also inclusive, diverse startup teams. So we have our yearly hackathon in March. We have Female Founders Across Borders program, and I see some graduates from the program also in the hall here. And you'll hear actually from 2 graduates, no, actually even more. I think at least 3 graduates on this stage today from the Female Founders Across Borders program. And the third thing that we focus on is improving digital skills in general. So we've had programs, digital skills for school teachers, digital skills for creatives and healthcare professionals, and now a program, digital skills for NGOs, also running. And actually, in many of these programs, we've had amazing support from wonderful companies in Latvia and also internationally, and our biggest supporter has been Google.org, and I'm very, very happy that today on this stage at 12 o'clock we'll have Lisa from Google.org representing and talking about the goals and women in technology and just, charities and how we can make this world a better place. But why do we do this? Why this stage? Why women in technology? Why technology is important at all? Why learning new skills is important? So if we look at how the world has changed, and these are some slides that I took from a conference about future of jobs. So the old promise was that we could get our education when we are young, then climb the career ladder, and then retire around 60 years old, live happily, retired afterwards. Because when this plan was created, then this was the life expectancy. 66 years was how long people were expected to live. And I guess we all know that this has changed in the past years and decades. So what has happened is that we no longer can measure our success the same way as it was when this was still in place. So in the new age, life expectancy is 90 years plus. And education and career development has changed very rapidly. So this is what we see worldwide and also in Latvia, that we actually very rarely can see people who have managed to study something when they were young and live through the same career all lifelong. So this has changed, and we have to learn on a constantly all through our lives. We have to leverage what we've learned, and we have to engage with new knowledge all the time. And we need to still remain engaged also after we would quote-unquote retire. So we need to learn and adapt all the time. And this is why Riga Tech Girls are here. So some of the things for your information, what you can apply for today. So first of all, Spring Up. We will have pitches in the end of today, but Spring Up program is still open for applications. So if you are a founder, you have your own company, or you know someone who is starting a startup and who have at least one female founder, then you can still apply for Spring Up until October 10. Why Spring Up is a good program to start? Because we have a wide variety of investors who are partners in this, and our main goal is to support these companies in becoming investable. Next, if you know someone who is in the NGO sector, like Riga Tech Girls, we are an NGO. There are other NGOs worldwide, and we have our international program, Digital Skills for NGOs, also possible to apply still. It's already running, but you can see all the existing sessions in recording, and you can join the new ones. So, for example, the next module on data has not started yet. So we've gone through project management, but data is coming up. If you want to learn about digital tools or the modern technology and how that can be used, join this program and invite others to join. And final, I think, news that I want to mention today here is about our online school. So it's called Digitālās izaugsmes skola, and we have the first course available there. So we've had people coming to us and saying, okay, why has the registration closed for this and that program? So we're now working on having our programs available all the time online for anyone to access. And the first program that is there is Cilvēcīgi par tehnoloģijām for those who are creating things. So if you're creating something, you can join Digital Development School and join the program anytime, any place, when it's good for you. I guess I'm already running out of time, as it usually happens. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. So in the next year, we want to organize more regular events. So if there's anyone here in the audience who would like to join as a volunteer and support us in creating regular workshops or meetups, please come to us. We have a table behind there. Our team will be there all day long, and also I will be there, so just come and join. We'll also have the mentorship program for the 6th year already. And in March, Women in Tech Hackathon, so look out for that and join to hack your ideas. We are now also supporting more activities, and not just with tech, but with STEM. So we have a collaboration with Riga Technical University and with CERN, and we're going to send girls on an excursion to CERN, as we also did this summer. Yeah, there will be news about Discover Tech or Iepazīst Tehnoloģijas next year, so look out for that. And as every year, we plan to organize summer school for girls. So if you have young girls in your neighborhood who would like to learn about technology, they're always welcome to join. Also, we are very happy that we have regional representation. And today on the stage we'll have someone from Vidzeme Tech Girls, but we also have Liepāja Tech Girls, Latgale Tech Girls, and Ventspils Tech Girls. So if you are from a region, you can check in with us and we can connect you to the activities that are happening in the regions. And finally, what I wanted to mention is that we are now in a process of organizing STEM School for Girls in Africa. So part of our team is now in South Africa, and tomorrow part of our team is going to Cameroon. We can say hi to Pauls over there, so he's going to Cameroon, and Santa as well. So what we do and what we learn here in Latvia and the Baltics, we can share with others in the world, and that's a great experience. Here are some of the photos from South Africa where our team is currently working with the girls, and I can say it's not just very rewarding, but also great for the girls. So yeah. Who are we at Riga Tech Girls? This is our board, so the people who have been involved the longest, and there's me, Lena. I'm not sure if Lena is here. Is Lena here? No. Diana is not here, I know, and Aiva is in South Africa. So currently I'm just me from the board, but we have an amazing team behind this, and there is Alice in the background over there, and Santa not here, but she's going to Cameroon tomorrow. And I know Pauls is here, Victoria is here, Laima is here, and Oksana is here. So you can go to our table and say hi, and just meet us when you feel like it, all during the day. And finally, what's the table behind there? It's our new thing. We have a small merch shop for those who want to support us. It's possible to get a Riga Tech Girls hat or hoodie or t-shirt like the one that I am wearing. So you can get those things at the table there, and you can also just donate or buy them in the shop. And all the money that we're receiving will go into continuing whatever we're doing, so building our projects. So thanks for everyone who will be doing that. And last thing from my side, stay up to date on what we're doing. You can subscribe to our newsletter, and even if you were previously subscribed, I will invite you to do that once more, because we had a very terrible mishappening, which sometimes happens in technology. We lost all our subscribers a couple of weeks ago. I will not name the service who is not able to retrieve things if there's an accident, but we're super sorry for losing the contact, and we really hope that you would subscribe once more and just be in the know of what is happening with Riga Tech Girls and what we can offer. Okay, so now let's go to our today's further talks and agenda. I just wanted to touch upon what the idea behind the program is. That in the beginning session we're going to have some great role models, and we're going to talk about quite diverse subjects in technology. But then we'll have discussions on changing your career. So that is our main goal of today, to show the opportunities that there are, and also to showcase career stories and founder stories, because you can move into tech as an employee, changing your career, and you can move into tech as a founder. You can start your own startup. So these are the focuses of the later program today. Otherwise, thanks from my side. Follow us. Be with us today and have a great time. Thank you.
And that was Anna Andersson from Riga Tech Girls opening our day today, when we will have many inspiring women come up here and talk about different things. We will see. And right now I would like to welcome to the stage Liisa Sevchuk from Estonia. She is head of people operations in SolarRide, and she will talk about how engineers' solar car project became so much more. Let's welcome Liisa.
Hi, hello, wow, it's really loud. Yes, I'm really glad to be here, thank you. I am Liisa from Estonia, came here just 1 hour ago, and I'm going to talk about how one student's project overnight or over the year or 2, 3 became so much more. And actually a fun fact is that exactly 2 years ago today, I was opening my Google Meet conference call to meet the recruiter and head of people of SolarRide, and did my first interview. I mean, I think it's safe to say it went quite okay as I'm standing here today. Somehow I convinced them that I'm worth taking the chance on, even though I was studying, or I'm still studying economics and art history. Not really anything specific to solar cars or technology, but I think this is the first thing that's special about SolarRide. In SolarRide, it is a student project where we develop a solar car to educate people. So the whole point of SolarRide is for the young people to come learn. They don't have to be top engineers or top specialists of any kind. They just have to want to learn. And I'm sorry. But to tell you a story of SolarRide, I think it's nice to tell you a story of Mari and Kristel. So meet Mari. Mari became part of SolarRide's family in 2020 when she joined our logistics team. We were preparing to go to Australia for the solar car championships, and she wanted to be the one to bring the car and the team from Estonia to Australia. As you can understand, it's not the easiest task. But the thing about Mari is, Mari studied French philology. She had nothing to do with logistics or even project management of any kind. She was helping out as a substitute teacher in a school teaching French. But quite soon, when Mari joined, she was just diving head first into everything Solaride. And even though Corona came and the Australian competition was cancelled, we were trying to find different ways how to still move forward, and Mari did the same. So instead of logistics, she started to pursue marketing. She was organizing events with our sponsors and partners. She was creating social media content. But after a while, she thought, okay, let's keep going. Let's try something new. So she became part of our people's team. It was during COVID that most of our work was in Google Meets, a lot of meetings without actually seeing people. She met her team almost after a year. But she didn't give up. She was trying always to find the ways how to motivate us, how to keep everyone going, and I must say she did a really good job in it. But it wasn't until Mari was looking on the calendar and understood that there's only half a year until the official launch of our solar car that she started helping out engineers. And she was part of the team that was responsible for making the solar car panels and molds. So basically the clothes that the car is wearing, that's what she was doing. She was spending loads and loads of countless hours with our engineers, asking the questions, why are we doing it like this? Why are you doing it this way, not that way? And pretty soon, we understood that that's where she belongs. So Mari on the right there and our head of engineer on the left, they became an unseparated duo, as she was the one responsible for the workflow, for the time management, and for the success of making the solar panels, because this one is one of the toughest part of building this car, because if the parts don't match together, you will get a car that is, you know, like a puzzle without some main puzzle pieces, so it doesn't really stick to itself. So there she was, trying and motivating and working with different kinds of people, and looking at this picture, I think she liked it. Here she is designing solar panels, actually, not the car, but the panels, and working closely with our head of engineering, as I already said. We understood that Mari is, has so much more potential in, first of all, communicating with the engineers who stereotypically might be thought of as very strict, very like angled, and hard to communicate with, because of course all the engineers are introverts and they don't like to speak and they don't like the daylight or anything. But Mari found a way to speak their language, to understand how they think, and to this way lead us to actually Morocco, because instead of Australia, we went to Morocco. And this is Mari here at the end of the first season's like award ceremony, when I remember when we were thinking of the categories, how the people would be like thanked for. There was a category for someone who is everywhere and has done everything, and without like any doubt, everyone said, this is our Mari. So I'm really glad to say that now Mari is actually not working as a French teacher, maybe sometimes after work, but she's in Stone Ridge and being the business and technical analyst there. And that's only through trial and error that she found her way there. And now I would like you to meet Kristel. Kristel is the CEO of Solaride. And Kristel finished her bachelor's degree in history and her master's degree in organizational behavior. But she has background in bank and mostly working with sales and marketing teams. So she's our, as we call her sometimes, soft cactus. Sometimes spiky, but always there to help us out when anything needed. But how Kristel came to Solaride? She got a call from her mentor or from her inspiration, Priit Salumaa, who was at the time head of our partnerships and fundraising. She got a call that, yo, Kristel, you know, there's this cool project, like university students from different universities in Estonia are trying to build a car, a solar car. I know it looks crazy, I bet you've never heard of it. Most people haven't, and that's our problem. We can't raise money if we don't have the reliability and the trust of people. So with your nice marketing background, a little bit of selling knowledge, could you please come and mentor our kids a little bit so that they could learn from you, so that you could pass on the knowledge a little bit? Kristel said, sure, okay, let's try, have some spare time. But this was Kristel on the first meeting with engineers. She was the only one with no engineering backgrounds. She thought, okay, 3 hours of full technical talk, terms that she has never heard, could have never imagined. But she said, okay, let's try. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? I could fail or I could not understand anything, but let's try. And I think this let's try was the biggest win that Solaride could have had, and that Kristel could have had as well, because this lady, she doesn't give up on anything. Nothing seems impossible to her, like really nothing. Even having our president to meet us and on the airport where they're not allowed to like drive any civil cars on the airport grounds. We were able to drive our own car there. Kristel was the one who never gave up on the team when we didn't have any money. When half a year before the car launch, we were still not sure if we are able to go with this car anywhere, because there wasn't an Australian competition, there wasn't any substitute competition at this time. But only thanks to her keeping our spirits up as well, we managed to go to Morocco, where we were the only team that built the car during COVID, that was able to get the car to Morocco and to compete with it. Well, you can't really compete if you're the only one competing, but this is a whole other story. We can talk about it on some other conference. Then we understood that this is so much more than just an engineering project. This is a project where you have to find a middle ground between all different people. The engineers must understand why marketeers are needed for the job, just as the finance people have to do it. And what's so similar between Mari and Kristel is that they both are part of Solaride Academy. So this is an educational and development program where you get the technical skills to do the job, but what's more important, you get the social skills to interact with all different kinds of people. You may speak the same language, it might be Estonian or it might be English, but if you speak it differently, you won't understand each other. The same way that in Solaride, the average age is, I think, 23 years old at this point, might be even younger now, but leadership skills, you have to lead yourself, you have to lead the processes, you have to lead this team that you have, altogether we're almost 70 people, led by everyone young as well there. So you have to learn how to communicate with everyone. Just as with the mentors, we have those really good mentors who know what they're doing, but we have to be able and have the courage to ask those questions. You have to make yourself vulnerable. You have to show that you care, that you want to understand how things work, and you have to do it with a team. You have to do it this way that this social media person understands why we have to talk about the car and why the engineers have to understand that we also need sponsors. You can't build a car by yourself without any money. So you have to speak, you have to communicate, you have to get on the same table with the sponsors and everyone, because otherwise Mari wouldn't have gotten to build the clothes for this car, or the second car wouldn't have been built because we wouldn't had money or people to build it or the knowledge to do it. So it's those spikes that we have to overcome to be bigger, to grow all together. We need the people who trust us and the people who believe us to encourage us and to give and have more possibilities to do it all. So, what's my point? We have to learn to understand people, different ones with different methods. We have to find the ways to those engineers and find ourselves maybe within this. We have to understand that others may not feel comfortable going on the national TV to talk about something, even if it's something they're really good at or they understand it. But altogether, only understanding that all is how we find the strength. And it's, always nice to have a quote somewhere on the presentation. So I'm going to quote Martin Villig, who says that Solaride Academy inspires young people, and it is a starting platform for a new generation of engineers, inventors, entrepreneurs, and world changers. So we develop a solar car to educate people. And it is our chance right now to do the impossible, because Mari didn't think it's possible for a French philologist to lead engineers to clothing the car, just the same way as Kristel didn't think it's possible for a history major, for a person with history major to lead this solar project to Australia, where our team is right now. It's the same way that our 18-year-old battery pack engineer never thought they could develop, as an 18-year-old, something that would drive through the Australian desert. And I think 2 years ago, I didn't think it's possible for me to stand here as head of people and actually make a difference in the world of Solaride. So thank you.
Thank you. That was Lisa Sevchuk. Can we give another round of applause for her? Thank you. That was amazing, really inspiring. And we will have our next speaker, Jana Butkovskaya, in a few minutes, hopefully. And right after her, we are gonna hear from Lisa Belozerova and again Ann Andersson. But right now, we can welcome to the stage General Partner at the Better Fund, Managing Partner at a Beamline Accelerator, Jana Butkovskaya.
Hello. Super nice to see you all here, and thank you very much for having me. So yes, my name is Jana, and yes, I bear double partner signs. And thank you very much for the previous speakers, because you opened up everything what I wanted to say, and especially even today, during my coffee meeting with one of my colleagues from Canada, we were talking about that I was still not very happy with my presentation, and I don't think that I'm happy now, because when we know all the problems, we'll know all of the concerns. We of course know the success stories, like Riga Tech Girls and all other very good initiatives and ambitious programs for girls, for women, for young women. I really would like to send warm regards to this super brave and I would say normal woman coming with babies here. I was doing the same on the conferences, and I think that's the only normality we should live in. So, and I'm always concerned about all the success stories and not the rules. There are exceptions. We do this not because it's so normal, but we do it in spite of. So it's not normal that we need to make a specific programs for girls to not be afraid of IT. And that's why I think I really would like you to think with me during this presentation, and maybe if it's possible to take some questions or suggestions from the audience, what we should do or how we should act, because I think that I'm talking about women in tech for maybe 10 years already, or even more. Because before I joined, or I studied these partner labels, I'm environmental physics, so I was studying physics, and my main job, I was building boiling houses and clean tech projects before we knew that there is clean tech term exists. And I didn't know that women in tech is something extraordinary. I'm coming from industrial area, so for women to work in chemical production or in mines, or to be mathematic or physics was absolutely normal. I mean, it was job, and it was not well-paid job. Because if you are just working with mathematics, or you are, for example, chemical production operator, it is even not any kind of middle management. It's just operating. It was super cheap. So, but now it's fancy. Now you can earn money if of course and this is what I would like to talk today. So again, if we turn to statistics, and I'm coming now from startup world, which for me, I escaped from government, from public sector, and from the big industries, because there was a lot of discrimination. When women were working in fullest and they were making a lot of things happen, still men were running on the management and top positions. And it was very fair, very openly said that you cannot take the position even if you are skilled enough and experienced enough, just because you are a girl. I was sent out from the offices or from the meeting with, especially when I was in Russia. At that time it was okay to, in some case, to work with the Russian side because of this big project. So I was said, okay, and secretary can wait there. Sorry, I'm the one you will be dealing with several years, so just be happy. So, and I hope that in startups, or it seemed to me that in startups, the picture is different. And it is different, but it's still very, very sad that it's only 15% of the founders are women. And we are not talking about the only women co-founders, but we're talking about the teams where at least one of the co-founders is woman. But still, the teams where women are in charge, they still get only 1% of all investments in the Europe. Can you imagine? Nice world we live in, yes? So we do this stuff and then like 1%, be happy, ciao. And then when we see about who is working in tech, only 22%. So when we're talking about, and then Latvia, thank you very much, you have overtaken the first place in the rating of the biggest gap in salaries. So for the years, for the decades, Estonia was on top. So from that last year, Latvia is on top. We are the second ones. So thank you. So we are the leaders, guys. And this, of course, not only because women and men who are keeping the same positions, they get different wages, but because of, for example, woman who is coding or woman who is making marketing, she is called like marketing specialist or, I don't know, some junior developer. And the man who is doing the same job is called another way and the salary is higher. So there is a structural mistake. Not that, and of course, not so many women are going into the tech where salaries are higher. So a lot of women are keeping the job positions which are less paid. That's why we have all of these gaps. So it's not about that all of the managers want to pay less to women. No, unfortunately, there is much, much deeper roots of the problem. And it's like only 20% of all the graduates of computer sciences, which are now like everywhere. You cannot do anything, basically, no any kind of development, no any kind of innovation, nothing without the IT, without the computer science. It's only 20% from all the graduates are women. So if we continue like this, then, you know, we lose again one more generation. And I just wanted to point out that even if we have all these numbers, and a lot of researches are done, and one of the main researches, what we know now, and it was proved for very many different organizations, and maybe Riga Tech Girls also can recall on it, that there is specific age, 11, 12, or sometimes starting from 10. If girls until that time will not get acquaintance with technology, they will start to be afraid of it. So if the girl, until it's starting of the teenage age, this kind for the girls, for boys it's a little bit later. So if these girls will not play with robots, or making some physical experiments, or chemical experiments, or playing around with the cars, go and, I don't know, ride the bikes and whatever else, by the age they turn 11, then we get again the generation of the girls who will be a little bit, oh, I'm not so good with computers, oh, please help me. So this is what we need to do. And this very nice unicorn, this is one program specifically for the girls in Estonia, which called Unicorn Squad. And how it was done? One of our Estonian startup stars, he has a daughter. And he said it was so interesting to observe how the boy, his son, was so much into tech, and the daughter, who is also see that, like, you know, the whole family lives in tech. She is not interested, and she is not brave enough to play around with it. So he decided to make experiments, physical experiments in his own garage for his daughter and for her friends, for the girls. And it turned out that it was so cool, everybody were very happy, so he built up a huge, huge platform, and now more than 1,500 girls every year go through the program. And it's like, it's super, super easy. Girls are playing around with dynamics, you know, just to see how the sound is evolving. They're playing around with the weights, they're playing around to understand the main rules of the physics and mathematics and coding a little bit, and and they are drilling, they are riding e-scooters, so everything just to play around and to be familiar that technology is the same toys as the Barbie girls. Oh, no, it's not Barbies, now something else is now. I'm sorry, I have a son, so I'm not very good in this Barbie stuff. I've never been, so. But it was a film, so I know about Barbie. And what I wanted to point out today, that we know all these statistics, we know all these problems, and we know all these efforts, and I'm very happy to be sometimes able to support these initiatives. But now is a golden time for us, girls, because it's a huge technological gap in Europe. We only in Estonia, like just to give you the numbers, we are a super small country, but we are missing 100,000 IT workers. So for us to keep up with our unicorn stories, we're missing 100,000. The whole population of Estonia is 1.3 million. Can you imagine? So for us to keep up with our economy, we need to get, I don't know where. Several days ago, I was in Geneva and was meeting the guys from the India. I said, I love India. I love India because you are coming to Estonia. Otherwise, we would lose our economical advantage. So, and it's already calculated. If we now, as I mentioned before, 22% are now women in tech. If we would add only 23% of women, so it means that we have this population. We don't need to bring it. We just need to engage them. We just need to give them an opportunity to go to tech and to work with us. So if we just add these girls and women into tech, then we can raise our GPD from 260 billion euro to 600 billion euro. Only 20%. So just double the number of women already working in tech, just to give them opportunity to go. And for me, it is always about the opportunities. And if we look for another statistics about where we lose women, before I joined Beamline and before the Better Fund, and basically the Better Fund, what we are doing, this is VC fund, will be specifically for women or gender balanced teams. So we will not invest in any team if there is no at least one woman on the board. Very, very strictly. This is what we decided to do. Because before that, I was working in a very, very tech-intensive fund. And just we have had such a moment when it was like 40 teams in the room before we kicked the program. So 40 teams, it's like about 70 people altogether. And when I came into the room, I discovered myself the only woman in the room. So 40 teams ready to strive for the startups, tech startups, 0 women. And then I was like, but I do remember my university. There were women in mathematics, in IT, in physics, and everything what we were studying together. So what happens? Where are they? And it wasn't like less of them because you remember who are getting 5s in the school for mathematics, girls, because we are studying, because we want to be, meet the expectations and so on. So, but really, what happens? This is the women who are somehow connected with the tech. So 50% if we start the primary school capabilities. So really, if we see what girls and boys are doing, the girls first of all goes a little bit up, and then what happens? Then boys start to overtake in all mathematics and all STEM subjects. So first of all, in early high school, but still in early high school, as you can see, only 1% dropped. 50, then 49. Then what we see, who is going to bachelor? So the first step to go into the universities, into STEM. Only 31%. So boom, we have lost 18%. But it's like 18% from women, can you imagine? So it's like basically 40% already. as we take the whole population. Then graduation. Okay, girls again meet the expectations, they push through, they graduate. Then again in a master, there are enough of women, so like almost 40%, and it's very continuous. But what will happen after the university? When we see this, the last one is the tech roles across any companies. Boom, again, from 40 into 22. So we just lose them. And for country, can you imagine if you just calculate the money, we educate, boom, and then it's only 22. It's like you are eating, you know, the pavlovas, and it's for hundreds of the calories, and you get only 20. Lost idea of the pavlova. And again, if we look to the history, then do you know that computer, first of all, it was the name of the job. It was a woman. First of all, it was women who were calculating how we go to the Mars, created in US. Super low-paid job. And these women were calculating, and before the computer as machine appeared, it was woman, computer, you know, nothing else. Then in UK, during the whole Second World War, everybody who were calculating everything for the military were only women. Because it was, again, super low-paid job. Men were not doing it because they didn't want. Then in 60s, the women were already overtaken with the coding and very complicated algorithms, but still, it was seen as a very cheap labor, and no men wanted to take it. But then something started to happen because of computers became more cheaper, and everyone, like society, realized the possibilities of the computers. So they understood that if there is a person empowered with a computer, is the same what we've been talking about AI today, then this person can make whatever. So starting from 70s, you can check for the history, women started to be substituted by men, and the men with computer was already called in the job position much more higher than the, for example, operator or calculator of something. So the man with computer was already manager of something. And then the discrimination continued for ages, and unfortunately it is till now. We can see it everywhere. And for example, in UK, they already calculated that because of they have graduated for 30 years sidelining the women from the IT sector, then UK researchers said that this is the reason why UK has lost their position as one of the top IT countries, so which were they in 70s and 80s. And again, about the science, that I checked a lot of the papers because I was trying to understand. So, okay, we know all of the problems. So what's wrong with us? What's wrong with the society that we still cannot do anything? And everything goes into basically 2 points. And I have added mine as a third one. First of all is ambition. As I talked about, that if girl will not be exposed to the technology at a certain age, she will be afraid of it. Because you know the statistics, that if you are reading the advertisement for some job to apply, if you are not 100% sure that you are right fit, you will not send your CV. Girls, unfortunately. I know some companies, if they want to increase their gender diversity, they are adding specific lines. If you are a woman, please apply. Even if you think that you cannot do it, please apply. I am also an employer, and you know, guys are coming. I'm okay with guys. I love men. I'm sorry, and I have a son, you know, so I'm a little bit cautious about what's going on with men. But when men are coming to the job interview, I'm like, oh my goodness, where this Superman was the whole life? He will save the whole all my companies, everything. So even they don't know, haven't ever done, whatever they haven't ever done, they say, but I'm super quick learner. I haven't ever heard it from women. I heard everything else, but nothing like this. And I have done millions of experiments about asking my employees, women, like, okay, what is your salary? What would you like to get? And compare it with men who are doing almost the same job. And men are asking almost twice higher salary always. So it's again about our ambitions, because we were raised, you know, to be liked by other people. So we are afraid of saying, you know, I want to get at least the same as you because I will be working the same as hard. We are afraid, we never ever say this. And then, of course, it's social support. It's not very supported by our society. And fortunately, it differs in different countries, and it's very different in Norway and Sweden and Finland. But in Estonia and Latvia, we go, you know, into that kind of Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and that kind of. So we are not yet in Scandinavia with this, with social support. So it's not very much supported that women is ambitious, is taking managing positions, is working hard, I don't know, going and repairing cars and doing whatever. You know, a couple of years ago, I know what happened. I get divorced. I always forget about it, you know. And I thought, I need to do something else. And I went to neighboring vocational education center and applied for car assembling or repairing position, you know, like, because I love cars. And I thought, when I came for this, it's not jury, it's some kind of like a board, you know, when they are talking with the students. Because, yes, as a girl, I come in with these excellent documents, you know, 5s and everything, A. And so when they made an interview with me, even the headmaster of the vocational school came and said, what do you want from here? Because I was already enrolled into PhD program in the university. I said, I just want to repair cars. What's strange in it? And of course, as you can imagine, I was the only woman. And it was all, and of course, I'm much older than all the boys there. So, but I was super cool in physics, so I very quickly became a star. But even in this position, when all the boys got the right answers in mathematics and physics from me, it was necessary, you know. I mean, I'm very old in comparison with the boys there who were like 18 or 19. It was always, it was necessary to make a statement that, come on, guys, I want to take this test now. I want to try what the teacher just explained. Because, like, I don't know, everybody thought that I'm just playing around. So social support, unfortunately, we just need to take it. And then the third one is networking. It's a little bit controversial topic for me still, but because I'm working in startups and I know how networking is super important, and before you get any kind of investment, you should be trustworthy. So it means that network and potential clients and investors should know you well. So you should be the part of their community. Do you know about Estonian Skype mafia and this all kind? So what it means, it is super cool. It is super cool for society. It's super cool that we help each other. But if you just dig a little bit one layer down, it means that one brother helps another brother, then the friend, they were studying together, or they were, you know, drinking in the evening together, and then they are buddies, and then they are friends, and then they help each other because they trust each other. They know each other for a long time. And they don't know us. We are not in their community. We are not in their close circle. So I've read in one book that women should also get the mentors. And of course, if, for example, if you want to become a top manager, then you should take a mentor from top management, which are majority are men. And then for me, it's always a question. So, but if I will announce that this kind of top manager, I don't know, I have some kind of a bigger company in Latvia, and he becomes my my mentor. I will go for lunch every month with him, for example. What society will say? And it's absolutely normal if a boy goes in the same direction and take as a mentor someone from the top managers. So this is the questions from my side for you. And this is what I think that we need to decide, because future is feminine, as we know. And I only wish you all success, and I hope we will have time and possibility to come up with ideas and with real actions, how we can enroll ourselves more into tech and more women into tech, support each other, create the network, and build much better future for us and for our sons and daughters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jana. And we are gonna continue with an inspiring story, Google story. And I would like to very warmly welcome to the stage Lisa Belezerova and Anna Andersson back on the stage.
Thank you, Elena.
Shall I sit here? Gosh, these are very comfortable armchairs. We can sit here all day.
Yeah. I see the hall is even fuller now. So I guess everyone's here to hear Lisa. First of all, just starting off, I want to thank Lisa for agreeing to come to Riga and to talk with us here on the Women in Tech stage, because Lisa is a senior manager for Europe, Africa, and East Asia at google.org.
Middle East.
And Middle East at google.org. And Lisa is also a TEDx speaker. So we have an amazing speaker here on the stage. Let's just give one more round of applause to Lisa. Thank you. But Lisa is also from Latvia. So I wanted to start off by asking you for you to just share your story, how to get from Latvia to google.org, because I know there are people in the audience who are dreaming of that kind of shift.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for such a warm welcome. As you said, I am from Riga, and it's always a great pleasure to be back, and of course, share my journey and the story of google.org with so many people here present and online as well. My story didn't start in tech at all. I never imagined myself working at Google. It was never my ambition or my goal. I went to Riga's French Lycées. I loved languages. I loved literature, and I studied languages, humanities, and then I went to France to study literature. I was this person sitting and reading a book a week, and that was, I was imagining myself working in that space, in the media and literature space, and then I pursued a career in broadcast journalism. This is how I went to London to study international broadcast journalism and pursued the career in media. And there was an interesting shift happened as I was having a job placement in a TV station, and I could see the newsreels coming and sort of one big story after another, and I set out, in my career in journalism to tell the stories of people, have impact with these stories, and I realized that the newsreels go so often, so quickly, and disappear just as quickly, so it's very difficult to actually have tangible impact with those stories just because of the sheer volume and speed of information. And this is how, at the time, the LinkedIn platform, I'm that old, and at the time LinkedIn platform appeared, and my mom called me and told me, "Are you on LinkedIn?" And I was like, "No, why would I go on LinkedIn?" And then, just to please my mom, I went on LinkedIn, registered my profile, and then surprisingly, a couple of weeks later, I got a message from a recruiter who told me, like, "Oh, we're looking for someone who speaks different languages and has media background to go and run a project in the Great Lakes region of Africa." And I was in my mid-20s. I had sort of no attachments. I went through the job interviews, packed my bags, and off I went and ran a civil engagement program in East Africa, in Kenya, Rwanda, Eastern Congo for over 4 years. And at the time, I suddenly got a call from after many years from another recruiter. I was sitting at a border from Rwanda to Eastern Congo, which is a very kind of complex space to transit. There was no Wi-Fi. There was these guards standing with Kalashnikovs, and I'm kind of running around trying to get Wi-Fi. And I get a call, and they say, "Well, Google UK is recruiting someone who has social impact. We came across your profile." And I was convinced it was spam. I did not believe that Google would be interested in me and in my journey, because everything before that I was doing had no direct relation to the tech space. Fast forward, lots of different interviews and conversations. I ended up at Google UK in the UK marketing team, running social impact projects and online safety, which started becoming a growing field, and there was need to educate young people in online safety as those tools were getting more and more accessible for teenagers. And 2 years later, I transitioned into Google.org, which is Google's philanthropy, and I've been on the team for 5 years, leading the economic opportunity portfolio, supporting nonprofits who educate people who come from underrepresented communities, underserved groups with digital skills, and supporting access to tech jobs. So, in a nutshell, that's my story.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing. So, you coming from this language background and then social work background, and now working with Google.org. How would you say, like, from your perspective, why should women aspire and go into the tech field?
I think there are a ton of reasons why women should get excited about technology, and some of them were illustrated by the amazing two speakers who came before me, Lisa and Jana. I would just point out two areas which, for me, summarize why we should get as women excited about technology. And first is the macro social context. I think it's an understatement to say that as society we are right now in the middle of huge global challenges: climate crisis, war in Ukraine, rising inequalities, cost of living crisis. All of that happening while we're still finding our feet after 2 years or more of the global pandemic. And as the private sector, public sector, are kind of looking at the future and what the roadmap looks like, European Commission published a report, Path to Digital Decade. And it emphasizes that the key to inclusive and sustainable future isn't digital skills, isn't digitizing small and medium businesses. So there is this exciting opportunity for women to be part of that future.